Let's cut right to the chase. This video will be talking about the closest finishes in Formula E history, or the closest margins of victory in Formula E history. Now that little detail is very important because in Formula E, we've had quite a few instances where the car that crosses the finish line first hasn't always been the winner, and you'll see what I'm talking about a little bit later on. So, at number 5, the 5th closest finish in Formula E history is the 2019 Bern E-Prix. Everything about this race weekend was crazy, and we'll probably talk about that in a future video, but for now, let's go over that finish. In the last half of the race, Jean-Eric Vergne and Mitch Evans were fighting hard for the lead. The hard part comes when the track's barely wide enough for 2 cars, but I digress. In the last few laps, rain began to fall on parts of the track, closing the gap. And in a frantic last lap chase, Evans got a better run than Vergne out of the final chicane, but was unable to find a way past Vergne in the narrow run up to the start-finish line. Jean-Eric Vergne took the victory by 0.16 seconds. At number 4 is the 2019 Marrakesh E-Prix. After the 2 BMWs took each other out at turn 7, Jerome D'Ambrosio and his Mahindra led Robin Frijns and his Virgin to the green for a 1-lap shootout for the victory. Frijns fought hard to find an opening, but was ultimately unable to make the move. Heading into the final corner, D'Ambrosio locked his tires up, allowing Frijns to gain a run. Coming out of the final corner, the Virgin had a much better exit, but was blocked by D'Ambrosio's Mahindra during the short run to the line, losing by just 0.143 seconds. At number 3, we have the first of the 2021 Berlin E-Prix. Throughout the closing stage of this race, Edoardo Mortara and Lucas Di Grassi were fighting for their second wins of the season. Mortara also locked in the championship fight. Di Grassi claimed the lead on lap 28 and fought hard to keep Mortara behind. Coming out of the final corner, Mortara made desperate attempts to gain in Di Grassi's slipstream, but was ultimately unsuccessful as Lucas Di Grassi took the win by just 0.141 seconds, and behind them the fight for third was even closer, with Mitch Evans clearing Norman Nato by 0.09 seconds. At number 2, we have yet another Berlin race, this time the third race during the pandemic-affected 2020 season. During the final laps of this race, Maximilian Gunter and the BMW fought to hold off a charging Robin Frijns and the Virgin, and coming out of the final corner, the two had a drag race coming to the line, with Gunter coming out on top by just 0.128 seconds, Frijns losing another very close race. And at number 1, we have the 2015 Mexico City E-Prix. Now I bet you weren't expecting to see this race on the list. For those of you who remember this race, you may remember Lucas Di Grassi taking the checkered flag by a significant margin over Jerome D'Ambrosio, but getting disqualified post-race due to a weight infraction. Well, after Di Grassi was disqualified, the race was obviously given to second-place finisher Jerome D'Ambrosio, but in the final few laps, him and Sebastian Buemi were locked in a tight battle for P2, and coming out of the final corner and down the straightaway, Buemi was able to get just alongside, but lost coming to the line. Buemi lost by just 0.106 seconds, making this technically the closest finish for the win in Formula E history. So yeah, a bit of a shorter video for you today. Let me know what you think. Which finish in Formula E has been your favorite? This list definitely shocked me a bit. I really did expect the 2019 Mexico City E-Prix to be on here, but the margin for that race was 0.306 seconds, and without Pascal Wehrlein's penalty, that would just be 0.21 seconds, just barely out of the running for this list. So yeah, let me know what you think down below, and I will see you in the next video.